Hi, hello, namaskar everyone. Welcome to Dhwani, which means sound in Hindi. We bring to you resonating sounds created by the actions of women innovators, leaders, experts, and entrepreneurs who are making a difference in their and others' lives. We share their stories to inspire and empower other women. Dhwani is an initiative of Innoberry which is offering a platform for the women to voice their thoughts, struggles, challenges, achievements, highs and lows, and the journey that they have undertaken. I am Pooja Bhatia, a tech transfer, patent licensing, and intellectual property professional, and now your host for this show. Let's inspire and get inspired.
Hi, hello everyone. Today on Romania, I have with me a technologist turned entrepreneur, and you would like to know what problem she is solving. So, welcome, Amrutha. I would like to know what problem are you solving?
Hi Pooja, thanks for inviting me into this interview. It's a pleasure talking to you. I am an engineer with about 16 years of experience. Currently, I'm based out of Bangalore, and Patenti Technology Solutions is my first venture. Like the name suggests, it is more on the intellectual property, but on the technology front. I worked for about 16 years in both US and India combined and worked across data engineering, data architecture, data science, and product management. So, along with all of this, I also have a post graduation in intellectual property law, and that's how when I returned to India, I joined a startup called Shop, and the executive team there was very encouraging and very inquisitive about my qualification. They offered to give me a dual role of product management and then IPR analyst. So IPR analyst is the corporate side of IPR profession, where we can scout for current IPs as well as curate ideas for IP filing. So when I did this for the past 1.5 years before venturing into my own startup, what I realized is as a product manager, it was a superpower for me because I had full visibility into product development and the idea stage. So I had end to end visibility, which hardly happens in a common place. So there are IP departments in bigger organization, research institutes, universities, which focus on this. But all of this are motivated by the motivations of the because I worked in a startup, founder was motivated. I saw that exclusive role being played. But what about the industry needs? An exclusive role is a luxury, and creating an IPR department in house is a big journey. So, how do we bridge that? Is something that came to my mind, and that's how I came up with Patented Technology Solutions with a series of offerings that can solve the use cases and the pain points of all stakeholders, ranging from IP creators, IP owners, IP professionals, and ultimately the government. So, this was the journey of blending my knowledge about artificial intelligence, data science, and then IPR. So this is how the entire journey was. And coming to the problem statement, problem is empowering all the professionals in the IP life cycle, and especially the founders who may be having a journey to set up a IPR department in-house. I can talk more about the use cases, but yeah, this is the short answer, I guess.
So, I would say you are actually amalgamating all the experiences that you have and the expertise you have together, bringing them together and trying to solve the problem that you face during your own journey. So, your sharing of your journey, what I feel is that you are combining all your experiences and expertise and utilizing it to make lives of professionals like me simple by offering solutions, especially for the product or, especially for the problems that we face in our day to day life of IP management. Did I capture it right? Is that
Yes.
what you're trying to do?
That's true. And my vision was boosted by the fact that professionals like you also shared the pain points that could be solved by technology. So, yes, that's the intent to make especially IP professionals' life much more easier, quicker.
So, how would you classify your startup? Would you call it as an IP solution provider? Is it SaaS based? Would you classify it as deep tech or legal tech? How would you classify it? Just asking out of curiosity, how would you classify it?
Yeah, instead of a black and white answer, maybe I'll do a long answer for this. The past 3 decades, if we trace, 2000s were marked by data first and automation, and 2010s we saw a lot of digital first. That's how UPI came across the globe, all digital first. And then now we are in the AI first era. With AI first era and the Industry 4.0, which is focusing on smart devices, autonomous devices, machine learning, IoT, and all, the center stage will be IP, intellectual property. The differentiator in the businesses, in the operations, will be innovation and IP. So, are we ready for that surge as an industry and as a country? So, definitely that is going to happen. That is the next revolution. So, for the IP first India, IP first industry, technology needs to keep up. So, in that perspective, we are legal tech because we will address the pain points of IP professionals so that they can keep up the surge which is expected in few years across the globe. Definitely, I see that in India because out of 14 lakh active companies in India, 1 plus lakhs are startups. And what is the core of startups? Intellectual property, especially technology intensive startups are asset light, and the only asset they have is intellectual property. So if we have to keep up with the surge in intellectual property registrations, be it trademark, patent, or copyright, we need technology to keep up along with skill building as a nation, also as a global revolution. So, with that perspective, we are empowering IPA professionals, so legal tech. Besides that, despite LLMs being a commonplace today, despite AI being a very common technology across the globe, we haven't solved all the problems across natural language processing and especially about the patent data trademark. So, patent data and trademark data are the definition of open data because everything is transparent. There is no better definition for open data. So, if we are talking about open data and to the scale of 150 billion records collectively, historical data, everything together, let's assume how the scale of use cases. It's not one or two. The use cases themselves would be in the scale of thousands. So definitely we have a lot of scope to evolve as a technology and as presenting solutions. So that's why we also identify as deep tech. So AI being the core of this, deep tech definitely resonates well. And another very significant observation is, despite this being a very significant wing of the industry and adding so much to the GDP of the entire country, GDP of each of the countries, legal tech is not recognized as mainstream industry. There could be many reasons, cultural reasons, and economic reasons for it. So the safest and the most closest could be deep tech. But there is increased awareness, increased focus by governments to align it with legal tech. I'm sure it will happen over the period of time. But it is an honest admission at this point. Fewer countries have just the vertical. So yeah, that is a long answer, I believe. But yeah, evidence-driven answer.
So, if I understand correctly, you would actually fall into all these domains, right? You are providing a solution to the IP management, basically, and then also more deeply connected with deep tech and legal tech too. Though in India, there is a lack of clarity on the definition of legal tech. So, does that lack of clarity affect you or bother you per se?
So, having the ecosystem would definitely help accelerate the growth in that sector. So, if legal tech is a rich vertical, there will be easier adoption, there'll be easier funding, and there'll be dedicated incubation centers for them. So, that is the plus point. But in its absence, also, I think the industry is a little more open now. They are counting on the innovation factor, be it any sector. So I'm happy to share that we were announced as winners for Startup Karnataka's Idea to POC program, which is called Elevate 2023. So legal tech is not a vertical as per Startup Karnataka yet, but we were still recognized and announced as winners with also grant. So this goes to say that innovation is taken as the fact, but having the recognition that there is a legal tech vertical helps build the ecosystem. Instead of we individually evangelizing and building the ecosystem, waiting for it to adopt, having legal tech definitely would help founders as well as for the customers to find us easily. So professionals like you can come to an incubator and see that there, okay, these are the available companies and these are the products. It would also help you for easy access, and it would help me as a founder to get end users as well as resources, mentorship, everything.
So first of all, congratulations,
Thank you.
because these are in orders. Congratulations for winning it. And I think your smile says it all, that it is a big achievement and you're happy about it. So how do you feel after getting the grant? Because this is one of the latest win for you.
Yes, so definitely I'm elated. The validation, the journey, like I said, was more on empathy for the IP owners in order to empower the entire ecosystem, empower all stakeholders so that we can have more IP generation in the country. That's how I foresee very honestly. And then also to empower frictionless financing. So I am an entrepreneur, so I know that valley of death, that is the funding gap that happens in the or in a business journey where there is funding gap between the scale up versus very consistent cash flow. Now, in order to have access to funding during this time, what is the easiest way? Usually, founders go for debts because they may have exhausted funding during R&D and during building prototype. So, in the easiest that can come handy is IP, because we say intellectual property. It is deemed to be equivalent to a physical property. But how is that applicability in a real world? If we really hold this as collateral for mainstream bank, it is still used for financing, but not in a structured way and not in the mainstream bank. So it is yet to come to mainstream banking. That is a regulatory revolution that has to happen. The governments are working. Even the government of India is working towards that. It will take some time. But the reason I'm quoting all of this is this was the vision to empower the entire ecosystem and have simple empathy for the businesses, be it the small scale founders or a bigger giants which are working at bigger scale industry. So I feel all my vision is validated and I feel accepted. So I'm really happy that Startup Karnataka saw the value in this. So yeah, I'm very happy, and I should definitely give a shout out to my team. They were very supportive, right from interns to consultants and my mentors. Yeah, definitely. This is one moment I can show my gratitude, I guess. And definitely people like you who, who accepted and who saw value in the idea that I was sharing. Our product is yet to come to market, but sharing the vision with professionals, hearing the feedback was very encouraging. So, yeah, thank you to everyone.
Well, I think you love it. It's a very big achievement, and I wish you many, many more. And you have exactly given the reason that as there's a push from government for the IP financing too, so this is going to help in supporting you and taking your journey ahead. I just have one last question for you. Where do you see yourself in next 5 years?
Okay.
Presuming the regulation comes in.
Yeah. So again, I would align with the same vision that I started. It is to empower the ecosystem and empower the IP owners, because it is proven fact that IP intensive jobs are high paying jobs and the most number of jobs. US, UK, and India, they have about 46% in the IP intensive companies, organizations. So, what does it mean? If we are talking about increasing the quality of living, we need to empower intellectual property of the. So, that means increased protection, increased registration, and that comes with increased awareness. So, I would like to address all of this awareness because we need more and more people to perceive the value, perceive the applicability few years down the line, and have that patience, because IP life cycle is a very bigger gestation period, 5 years, just to see the registration. So, increased awareness, increased applicability through IP financing, and increased reward. When I say reward, recognizing that it is a wise decision to apply in smart IP strategies. This would be my main goal, and along the way, in empowering corporates with easier infringement detection. So that way, we will have IP intensive organizations as the best interest, and thereby creating more jobs and a smaller startup, so that they are encouraged to file more and more patents, not just one patent for due diligence, but rather even a single startup can file up to 10, thereby having enough cash flow, enough asset to create more and more jobs. So again, I would tie it back to quality of living and GDP. So overall, we will create a healthier society with IP as the focus. So this is my goal. In order to accomplish this, we'll expand our operations beyond software as a service, beyond to include IPR as a service, or to include any technology needed for litigation or drafting, which could include Gen AI flavor. It can evolve over the period of time. And we will gather feedback from professionals like you on the pain point and meet the technology to address all of the pain points. So that's the journey I see in 5 years, addressing end to end IP life cycle and all the users along the way.
So, IP professionals, keep an eye over her LinkedIn, keep a watch, follow her so that you get regular updates. And, I'm sure as soon as she's ready, you'll get a feeler about what her product is about and what she's exactly trying to do. Though she has dropped a lot of hints in this talk, and you would find that, it's going to help professionals like us in strategizing well for IP. And in the entire conversation, Amrita has also dropped a hint that, you have to work hard, you have to stay focused on what your goal is. So, and all entrepreneurs out there, stay focused, keep working, and you will achieve what you want to, and also get a grant like she has. So, keep working towards your goal. Thank you so much for joining me today. It was a pleasure having you, and I really enjoyed talking about IP with you.
Thank you, Pooja. You had a very patient ear from me. I gave longer answers. It was very engaging. You are an empathetic listener. Thank you very much. I enjoyed the talk.